beautiful city, beautiful restaurants, and fantastic bars, fantastic music. We were out pretty late, and I decided, I don't know why, to stay in a bed and breakfast. Home cooked meal in the morning seemed like a good idea, and so we were out late, had a great time. We gather for the breakfast, and we gather with the other guests in the house. There's probably 10 or 12 in the house, and we gather around this big table, and quite frankly, I'm just waiting for my cup of coffee. It's early, I don't talk a lot first thing in the morning until I have a couple of cups of coffee. And this lady came in, and she was with a younger guy, and she was, dressed to the nines, looked kind of out of place to me, but she proceeded to tell everyone that she was, VP and director and president, CEO, corporate America type. And I guess it went to her head that we were at a corporate roundtable or something, that this was her meeting. And it wasn't her meeting, but apparently she thought it was. So she kind of took charge of the conversations, and then she said, well, hey, why don't everybody introduce yourself and tell us about yourself, and we'll go around the room, and you first. And I'm sitting last, and so I'm thinking, oh God, I just want a cup of coffee and a cinnamon roll. Is that too much to ask? But okay, so we go around the room. I finally get a little cup of coffee going, and I'm last. And so, like I say, I had been out, wasn't maybe in the best of moods, and go all the way around, come to me. Well, what's your name? Well, Garner Turner. Well, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm retired. Oh, really? Well, what are you retired from? And I said, well, I'm surprised you don't recognize me, but I was in the circus. She said, really? You don't look familiar. And she said, did you manage a circus or do something? I said, no, I had an act in the circus. And I couldn't look over to my friends and my wife because I knew they were, they'd stopped eating and they were like, what? But I ignored them, and I looked at the lady and I said, no, I had an act, and I'm retired now. And she said, well, what was your act? And I said, well, I had a high-flying trapeze act, and surprised you haven't heard about it, but it was BoBo and his flying Elvis. And of course, I'm not BoBo, if you knew the act, but I was a flying Elvis. And really? Well, BoBo, that's a funny. I said, well, yeah, it's kind of a funny name because he was an orangutan. Really? Yeah, orangutan that we had trained to do a high-flying trapeze act, and obviously he was a catcher because he has, really long arms and long fingers and, hairy hands, and great catcher. I mean, I was able to whip off a double, even did a triple, and catch me every time. And really? I said, oh yeah. I dressed up like Elvis, and I had my little cape going, and I was a flying Elvis, and we were quite the act. And I just never heard of that. And I said, well, yeah, but I had retired. Oh, did you get hurt? No, I didn't get hurt. It kind of went to BoBo. I know he's an animal, but he's a smart animal. And he would get in my liquor box, in the RV. And of course, we traveled around the country in the RV, and circus life is pretty hard. So at night, you're ready to have a drink, relax, and BoBo found where my bourbon was. And after I went to bed, he would get in my bourbon, and he would sneak out of my RV and go down to the chimpanzees. And there's some good-looking ladies, he said, good-looking chimpanzee, they're maybe a little loose, and he'd take my bourbon and go down there and party every night. And I even heard that he got to smoking some pot. But maybe only in the States it was legal. I don't know. But BoBo started partying. And what happened was, when he started partying, he started dropping me. And not real cool. I mean, we had a net, but, you know, BoBo would be hungover, and he'd drop me. And he kept dropping me. But BoBo would drop me, and he would laugh, and then the audience would laugh, and you have Flying Elvis in the net, and I'm trying to get out, and I have to climb back up and start all over again. And it you know, it wasn't a comedy act, but it became a comedy act, and I didn't really like it. So BoBo just kept drinking, and eventually we just had to cut the act because he just couldn't even function anymore. I don't know what happened to him. We didn't keep up with each other. But, we had to disband the act.